Life after last stream. Guys, I didn't know if y'all saw the clip of me talking about Kobe. But again, I want to give a shout out to his family, like I always do, because they come first. Shout out to Vanessa and the girls. I'm always praying that they're well and that they're protected. Again, this is legacy talk at times that gets very passionate. I'm just a student of Mamba, at the same time, just like a lot of us, just a younger brother trying to make sure that his legacy is safe. And obviously, it was going to be safe without me saying anything, but I feel like certain things needed to be said. He's not only one of the best to do it right on the basketball court. I'm gonna say that again, but he brought a lot of us up. Like he helped a lot of us grow up. I know that sounds crazy because that does sound like more of a OG type of figure, but for a lot of us, he was, and it went way further than the court. And that's what I try to tell people is that when somebody goes out of their way to be there for you, and they're not special of a human being in their own right, I felt called. I felt it was necessary for me to say what needed to be said because it was just me. It was too loose. It was too loose of stuff going on, being said about him, and yeah, it just again, I'm not a hater. I'm not a young hater. I promise myself, and I promise to you guys, to the culture, I will not be 40 years old or 45 years old or 50 years old saying somebody doesn't deserve their money or somebody doesn't deserve this or doesn't deserve that. Will never be one of those old heads, guys. Like I've helped grow the league in my own way. I'm part of the renaissance of this younger generation, right? I'm one of the young old heads still in it. But when it comes to some of our greats, we have to place them in the right way. We have to respect them, especially if they're still on earth living and they're able to get their flowers. But if they're no longer here with us, there is a necessary respect that needs to be taken. You know what I mean? There has to be a respect that's there. You can't just let people just come out here and just say whatever they want. Now, obviously, it is just a sport. It is just competition, right? It is just basketball. So there's not a lot of personal shots there. It's not like a lot of emotional things behind it. But people do be hating on people, bro. And like it's sad to watch, but when you're coming up in this business or in any business, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people that don't like you. You're gonna have people talking behind your back. So sometimes I feel like some of the media takes are personally, emotionally driven, instead of it being just about the game itself, about the art space. I'm cool with just talking about art, the art of basketball and accolades and all that stuff and comparing people, right? Even though comparison is a thief of joy at times. I just feel like, appreciate all the gifted on here, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. You guys are TikTok is blowing it out of the water right now. We got 279,000 people watching on TikTok. So I appreciate all you guys at home tuning in. If this is the first time you guys are tapping into the spook signal, welcome. Again, you guys chat while you guys are watching on Twitch. I got to make sure that we paying attention to everybody on TikTok as well. But yeah, if I could tell you to you straight, like I don't want it to be about okay, this is We're what just talking Kyrie about. said, this is what Kyrie meant. That wasn't what I was going for. I was really just trying to make sure that the facts are put out first and then we discuss it just openly, and have a dialogue without it turning into something more. Sports are political. You know why they're political? Because they make a lot of fucking money. This is why sports are political. Sports are political simply because they make a lot of money. They make a lot of people a lot of money. Now, what do I mean by that, right? Let me explain it to you. Sports are political because they make a lot of money because the economic injustices that have taken place, not only in my community, but across the world. Like this is supposed to be the meal ticket out for a lot of people that look like me or come from neighborhoods that in which I come from, my family comes from. Basketball is supposed to be the trench baby sport, right? That's what I came into it, understanding that this is basketball, the trench baby sport. But now that we have all these class rankings and we have NIL situations and kids getting paid $1 million at 16 years old, which I have no problem with, no hater over here. Go and get your bread. But when you have professionals at 15, 16, 17, 18 making $1 million, I didn't make my first, you know what I mean? I didn't get that first big paycheck until I got to the NBA and then also I was with Nike. You know what I mean? So I came in during the lockout. So my understanding of the way basketball goes in the professional ranks is totally different than a lot of other people. Right. And I could stand on that because this is just my experience. I can only speak from my experience. Shout out to all my peers that got drafted in 2011 too during the lockout. It was fucked up. It was fucked up. I didn't want to go back to school. I get drafted number 1 and I'm sitting in class? Oh, that's not that's not what I wanna do. That's not what I wanna do. I do not wanna I do not wanna get drafted into the NBA and then go back to class. That's not what I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely a young OG in this shit, so when I speak about sports being political, it really comes from a place of there's a lot of money involved, there are a lot of families involved and that love the game, but there are a lot of people in this game from a media standpoint, right, where they are part of the basketball culture, but yet they have overextended themselves into conversations that they have no business talking about. And I could, and again, this is my perspective. This is not hate on anybody, and it has nothing to do with playing the game or not playing the game. It's just I feel like certain conversations about certain individuals should be made for other champions or other people that are well decorated. Why not listen to the people that are on the court with these individuals telling you, like, yo, that motherfucker was right? It's okay, right? People have built podcasts on talking about basketball. I'm all for it. Basketball is a universal language, right? It literally is a spirituality. But when sports become political, it's because there's a lot of money involved. You know, we went through the phase of politicians or certain politicians saying shut up and dribble, do all that, coming at certain, a couple of our peers. We've had the last 5 years, which has shown you some of the thoughts that people had it innately about what was happening in our league, right? And I'm not going to get too much into detail about it, but I'm saying, you know, this version of media, this new media nowadays, especially as live streaming is becoming more relevant and more popular, and it's becoming popularized, right, in a whole new way where people already just clip everything up. Like, look what he said, look what he addressed, look what he addressed. Okay, cool. That's cool and all. But when it comes to the relationship of growing the game, that's what I'm here to do too. You know what I mean? I want to make sure the youngins and the next generation that are watching this don't get to see someone's whole entire 15-year career get destroyed off of one take or off of somebody else's opinion that doesn't have any idea about who that person is or what they're about. So I just pray that as we move forward, especially as my peers watch this and a lot of them are getting more, more accustomed to live streaming and talking about things. Appreciate all the gifted. That's a Twawi is 8. Awi 23. Appreciate the sent roses. Appreciate you guys. Low live, appreciate you. But yeah, no, it's just it matters to me because it need like I think about the best way I can say this without, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of us are a lot of I think a lot of my peers want to get involved in this. And I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but I'm saying I think a lot of my peers want to get involved with this, but they are trained to only say certain things about certain topics, right? And then it's just regurgitated. Like it's like a political statement to a certain degree, right? Where we all agree to something and we all kind of like, yeah, that's it. And it's like, no, we're all individuals that have our thoughts and we should be celebrated that way too. Now we do have a unifying voice, and I'm all with that. I'm always with my peers, I'm always gonna stand with them. I don't always agree with all my peers, and they don't always agree with me, but we're men, right? Some of them are young men, some of them are older. But sports become political because of how much money is involved, guys. So I don't want to stay on that, but it's like that's when it becomes political. But when it's just about basketball and talking about the fandom, like the nerdiness of this, you should listen to the people that are masters of this game. You know what I mean? I am a master, one of the masters of basketball. And I'm a master because I'm able to remain a student forever, if that makes sense. Like I'm a master that's always going to be a student. I've been able to master a lot of aspects of the game, but I'm still getting better and I still want to continue to get better, and that's not going to change. But what we're not going to do is pretend like those masters who came before me don't have a place in conversations that are about the best of the best, right? We're a small conglomerate, guys. We're not a big conglomerate. We only have like I said, there's only been 4,000 some odd players ever in the NBA. It's not a big group. It's not like you have a lot of NBA players walking around. So when somebody says something about Kobe, somebody says something about, Hakeem, or says something about Wilt Chamberlain, or says something about Iceman Gervin, it could be anybody, says something about um, you know, anybody that had something to do with the growth, the overall growth of this game. So let me give you to you something straight too, bro. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second, Trav. So let me put something in perspective for you guys, because I really wanted to let you guys know, right? So everybody knows Oscar Robertson for what he did in terms of his appreciate the gifts, appreciate the gifts. First gift by Fletcher, appreciate the gift. Um, right. But I want to bring up somebody to you guys because I think you guys know what Oscar Robertson did, right? Right, in terms of the triple doubles. But this is what I know Oscar Robertson for, right? Oscar Robertson, as president of the NBA Players Association, played a pivotal role in establishing free agency in the NBA through a landmark antitrust lawsuit. His 1970 lawsuit against the NBA, seeking to block a merger with the ABA and end restrictive contract rules, ultimately led to the Oscar Robertson Rule in 1976. This settlement modified the reserve clause and allowed players to become free agents, giving them the power to negotiate with other teams after their contracts expired. Guys, if you guys heard that again, right? Oscar Robertson, as president of the NBA Players Association, which is a political organization. NBA Players Association is a political organization, union, right? This is back in the day. It's the union. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because us as players, we feel like it's necessary to protect each other to the nth degree. Now, everybody doesn't feel the same way I do, and I'm fine with that. But I'm saying I feel called to protect others' legacies, especially when they're being disrespected by people that have overextended themselves into conversations that they have no business being in. I'm not going to say any names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that will never pick up a basketball, even in a celebrity game. I'm talking to people that will never get up and down the court and run with their grandkids. I'm talking about the people that are on the court and say that they love basketball, but then hate the players. Because when I look at it, the greatness of the player is not necessarily just based off of the legacy of the basketball playing career. It's things like this. Oscar Robertson, we wouldn't have free agency without Oscar Robertson, guys. Appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. Like, we toss around the greatness and the GOATs, but why isn't Oscar Robertson like literally the like, you know what I'm saying? Think about this. Oscar Robertson is the main reason why we have free agency. Appreciate all the gifted. Thank you guys. Thank you guys all the gifted. Appreciate you. Think about that. Okay. Yo, chill. Okay, look. I understand where y'all coming from, right? And I want to let you know that all of the time that I've spent doing research on not just like my organization, what I'm part of, but also part of the revolution of people that are coming into this space that want to know how to be the best that they can be. And honestly, being the best that you can be starts with learning the history of who came before you, right? So I want to give you guys one more person, right? And he may not have played. Let's see. Right? Okay, so look, you just heard what I said about oh, appreciate you to whoever just said that. Yo, real talk. Thanks for wearing the aircuts, my wife, man. Shout out to that shit Leo M. Okay, I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro. Hey, yo, why are y'all spamming that in my chat though? Yo, y'all crazy.